play our national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard.
Starting in goal tonight for the Rebels, number 00, Beaumont, Carpenter. And your starting goaltender for the Outlaws, number 1, Easton Couturier.
Well, good evening and welcome to CROW LAX TV. My name is Keenan, bringing you all the action from inside the Ken Nickel Regional Recreation Center as we get set for the first action in this building this season. As you heard, the starting goaltenders for the Rebels, the 00s going to Bowen Carpenter to start this one. And for the Outlaws, they're going one number up to number 1, Easton Couturier. We thank you so much for tuning in. Also live, currently on CROW, is the Rebels and the Crew, or sorry, not the Rebels and the Crew, the Warriors and the Crew. That game live from St. Albert. And Mohamed Joma has the call for you as well. We'll be sure to give you score updates as we roll along from here inside the Ken Nickel Regional Rec Center. Rebels are going to get the first possession off the draw, running it up on the far side boards and knocked off by Kai Ellis. Holding it at the top right now, and now a pass down low over to Manning. Manning looking to get around. A huge 6-point night last time the Rebels played. The shot from the outside by Jackson Kohut was knocked down off kilter as shot clock is going to come to an expiry. Ball currently loose, and it's going to be start back up deep in Rebels territory in their own corner, and now running it up the far side boards is Puck. Sorry, my apologies, that's Badgema, and Badgema is going to take a shot. And Nolan Eastwood is going to tip that one in. And the Rebels off to an early lead. It's 1-0. So just under a minute into this one, Nolan Eastwood drawing first blood for Fort Saskatchewan as they have been on a nightmare tear to start the year. After 2 dominant victories, a 16-1 victory over the Warriors and a 12-6 victory over the Silvertips, as the Outlaws have it on the far side boards, currently being covered by Badgema. He's badgering Keller Noah, as now comes out to the top for the Outlaws. Outlaws looking to move it around, maybe get an offensive of their own. A pass down low for Hobday. Hobday being covered is getting knocked down off the play was Matthew Vetch, so it's going to be awarded to the Rebels, and now we're going to have a stoppage of play here real quick as the Rebels weren't able to fully gain possession of it until we were past the red line. Rebels with it. Walking in and looking down low for a shot was Tyler Manning. He definitely had more than a foot in the crease, and he's going to be called down on that one. As the Outlaws move back the other way. The Outlaws wearing the blue with the gold and white trim. The Rebels in the white with black and red. Outlaws up at the top with it right now is Rossman. Rossman passing down to Hildebrand. a shot. It looked like it was almost a one-touch pass, hard shot sort of combination from Gage Brooks that just ended up in the far side boards. Rebels gain possession of it now. 17:44 to play here in the first. We're still very early in this one as Jolivet has it for the Rebels. He passes over to the far side boards. Looking to wind up with Kalix Simonson. He is one of these star players on the Rebels, and he just showed just how good he is in those first couple contests for the Rebels. He's now walking across center as Ellis. Ellis barely beating the over and back as he's just going to dump that over to Hobday. And Hobday is going to walk in, look for an offensive rush here. Hobday passes across, intended for Dugan, and misses his stick. Rebels going to come away with it, and the Rebels looking very strong early. And now it's going to be a partial break opportunity for Despins as he's going to get a shot off. And a nice save by Couturier to keep this one a 1-0 game. Outlaws just barely missing the 8 seconds was Kyle Jamieson, as he was about just a step behind the timer. As now the Rebels hold it far side corner. Holding it now is Thiessen. Thiessen to Jolivet. Jolivet goes down low with it. Manning looking to cut in, back down his man, gets it back out to Jolivet. 8 seconds left on the shot clock, and winding and firing one was Baker, and that goes off the body of, I believe, Gavin Osman. I could hear that through my headset halfway across the arena. As the Rebels trying to get an offensive started, they do bobble it momentarily, and just barely swatting it back in time was Jackson Baker, keeping it in for the Rebels. Shot clock continues. 15 seconds to go, and gets knocked down was Jolivet. Nice play by the Outlaws, trying to get some defensive work going deep in their own zone as we're on the close side boards now. It's run out through center, and almost stepping back over the line was Osman. That could have been a dangerous play. As Dugan has it now for the Outlaws. Dugan looking to wind up from pretty far out. He passes over to Carter Grace. Grace looking to go down low to Hildebrand, and he can't find him. As the ball is going to bounce back deep into Outlaws territory as we're ticking closer to the first 5 minutes gone by of this one. Noah with it now, being covered by a couple of Rebels. He slips his man and passes off to Dugan so he can go for a change. Dugan over to Hobday. Hobday holding. Shakes his man, takes a shot that goes just a couple inches too high, kept by the Outlaws. 5 seconds left on the shot clock, and now Porter has to make something happen fast. Jesse Porter, one of the new draft picks, top draft pick by the Outlaws in this 2025 draft. His brother also playing for this team, Cody Porter, wears the number 19. It's the Rebels ripping one was Kohut, and it looked like it may have just went a little bit too wide, and it's going to be knocked out of his stick. Outlaws going to regain possession. Outlaws moving it around on the outside, finding his way around Riley Longmire. Longmire, though, doing a nice job of sticking right to Hildebrand. Gets a little bit of assistance here, and a outlet pass intended for Hobday was going to be picked off by the Rebels as ball is still currently loose, and finally scooping it up is Thiessen. Thiessen slows it down, waits for a full change off here as he's going to pass it off and go and do the same himself as the Rebels looking to try and get something going here as Manning has it in the close side, trying to go up high. 8 seconds left, gets a shot off right on Couturier, and Couturier, it looks like it actually fell right into the knee pad. And the Outlaws are going to move back left to right as Cody Porter brings it across. He's just being absolutely manhandled right now by Davin Bajma. He is all over him, and he finally knocks it loose, and he scoops it up. Davin Bajma now, he's all alone, and he's going to tuck it home. Davin Bajma gets the Rebels up by a deuce. It's 2-0. 6.5 gone by here in the first. Rebels haven't lost a step. Looking to just continue this dominance in the north. Currently up in St. Albert right now. We're at about the same time frame. They're only about a minute ahead of us at 12:30 left in the first. Warriors currently leading 1-0 on the Crude as now the Rebels looking. Vetch goes down hard. And there's going to be a penalty on this play coming up to Cohen Sutherland once we get an over and back, which is exactly what we get. It's going to be a hit from behind, and it looks like the referee may have been signaling. Referee's going to signal a few. It's going to be a 4-minute checking from behind call and an additional 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike. So we're going to play a 4-minute power play here. So they're just trying to get it sorted here on the board, as they have a 4-minute clock up there. I believe they're going to try and put up a 6. And that's what they're going to do, is 6. So on our stream here, you're going to only see a 4-minute penalty. However, it is going to be a full 6 minutes, as he is going to serve those ones back to back. So they finally got a 6 up on the board here. They need to take off the 4. As soon as they do that, they just remove the 6. So just while they're getting that sorted here, I just want to remind you that Battle of the Border is back in Missoula, Montana this year. Be sure to check them out at Battle of the Border LAX on Instagram. You can tour their campus and check out all the scholarships for Canadians available. You can do all that and participate in the annual North versus South lacrosse tournament that they have going on. That's back in September in Missoula, as the Rebels start a 6-minute power play. And this could be very dangerous territory for the Outlaws, as the Rebels, well, historically on the power play, have done fairly well for themselves. Outlaws, the far side corner, they're just trying to kill off as much time as they can here, as Carter Grace currently holds it very close to the red line over on the left of your screen. As ball is going to bounce off the floor into the netting. They're going to say that went off an Outlaw, so that is going to be Rebels ball. 12:22 to go here in the first. A little fake pass by the Rebels. A nice job by Calix Simonson and Jackson Baker to fake that one in. Now Kohut does the exact same thing, but Outlaw is able to read that one. As it looked like we were almost going for a tic-tac-toe by the Rebels, but just couldn't get a shot off, as Manning's going to wind up with 6 seconds left on the shot clock, and a hard shot from outside by Simonson. And that ball was going to be picked out of midair by Cody Porter, who's just going to run it down. Porter, he's being covered by Kohut and Simonson, as a pass right out in front centered for Hildebrand, and he almost was able to solve Carpenter the first time. That one is Kohut goes down off a nice check from Hildebrand in open floor. Kohut brings it back across. 19 seconds left on the shot clock for the Rebels. They don't have a lot of time here. Six seconds left. Rebels got to wind and fire one. They do, and that's actually going to go off of Couturier up into the roof, so that is going to be awarded Outlaws ball. Roof is fairly low in this building here in Ken Nickel. It's actually a bit lower than some of the other arenas, such as Bill Hunter and Jerome McGinley. Carter Grace with it right at the red line. He checks over his shoulder, looks at how much time is left on that penalty. The first 2 minutes has gone by so far in that penalty, as Grace is going to cut in and get a shot off. Fresh 30 seconds to work with, as Jesse Porter going to scoop that one up. Passes up to the top for Jamison. And now we're on the far side boards. Jamison trying to get in there and give a little bit of assistance as there were 3 Rebels all over Ellis. Ball currently sitting loose. Now finally will be picked up by Bajma, who tries to get it out to Vetch. Just misses Vetch's stick, and he's going to go down on the ball. That's going to be awarded back to the Rebels. So 3:26 of power play time to go. Off the 6 minutes of penalties to Cohen Sutherland, a 4-minute checking from behind and a 2-minute unsportsmanlike conduct compounded as Tyler Manning walks in and puts one home. And Manning continuing his offensive output that he had against the Silvertips. The Rebels now lead 3-0. So that goal, was in the second half of the double minor. So it is going to be another 2 minutes still on now what is going to be considered the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. So still another 2 minutes of power play time to work with for the Rebels. And the Rebels up by 3 as we just about are crossing over the halfway point of this one. The Rebels know that they have their foot on the gas and they don't want to slow down anytime soon. Rebels looking from the top over to Manning. Manning looking for an open lane. Back over to Simonson and a nice save by Couturier. Passes up to Booth, who brings it across the center. He's going to pass off and play a little bit of defensive play against Vetch here. Maybe open up a bit of floor for Hobday. Hobday takes a swing at him as Reese Walsh. Hildebrand with it now, right in front of the Rebels bench. He holds it, looking just for some sort of dump in as the shot clock was coming to an expiry, doing a good job of killing off a bunch of time in that penalty, as there's only 50 seconds left of it. Rebels checking the clock right now is Simonson. There's only actually one clock in this whole arena, and it's down on the Outlaws' end. As the Rebels look to scoop one on net, and it looked like that may have just went a bit wide to Couturier, but hit the post, and now Rebels look to shoot again, and that one is going to be good. Make it 4-0 Rebels, as it looks like that is going to be a goal from Jackson Baker as he celebrates with teammate Dylan Puck. So 4-0 is where we're going to sit as the penalty comes to an expiry now. 2 power play goals in what is going to be considered 3 chances. So the Rebels coming off to a hot 66% start on the power play. Ball scooped over to the Rebels as Vetch is going to grab that one and move it across center.
And number 91, Jackson Cohen's on power play goal 8:51.
It's the Rebels. Pass it around the outside, looking to go down low is Simonson, and Couturier misses it on the second chance by Ethan Jolivet, as it was a bit of a back and forth little play there that Miss Couturier went off the backboards, landed in Jolivet's stick, and Jolivet was streaking in at the same time and was able to tuck it right past Couturier to put them up 5-0. It's off the draw. Ball loose right in front of the Rebels bench. Still loose and getting shoved down to the ground, and we might have a little bit of words as throwing a shot there was Regan Walker on Davin Bajma right in front of the referee, might I add. Referee, though, not going to call anything there. Outlaws just looking to stop the bleeding. Just trying to get something on net as they do end up getting one on Carpenter. There was actually a high hit off the play. to Ben Hobday. No penalty coming up, as I don't believe any referee may have saw that. So Booth going to scoop it up in his own zone, move it across the half as we tick into the final 8 minutes of the first. Hobday with it now. Hobday holds, looking for a passing lane. He's going to pass it up top to Rossman, who tried to go quickly over to Dugan, who bobbled it. And now the Rebels scoop it up in their own far side corner. Thiessen has it now, waits for the reinforcements before forcing a play. He's going to fake a pass and now make a real one over to Baker. Baker looking to wind up and trying to go to Manning is now off the ball. Rebel goes down, no penalty coming up on the play. Manning trying to wind and fire. Now it's going to go up to Baker, who takes a shot going wide. 4 seconds left on the shot clock. That is going to go over and back. Shot clock also going to come to an expiry, so it is going to be awarded Outlaws ball here with 7:08 to go in the first. Outlaws with possession. As there was a Rebel that actually just went down the tunnel. I didn't quite catch a number for you there. And now the Rebels move in on a 3-on-1 opportunity. Vetch trying to go over to Walsh and ended up just kind of falling out of his stick more than anything. McKenna with it now. McKenna checks behind him to Reese Walsh, just, bearing down on him. So he just tries to run that as deep as he can as Grace goes down, trying to get a shot off. A ball loose in the close side corner. Rebels maintain possession as Jack Nickel brings it across. Nickel. Easy pass over to Eastwood, and now there is going to be the ball whistled down here. I don't exactly know what they just whistled that one down for. However, it doesn't matter as the Rebels quick shot opportunity by Puck. Now back to Eastwood. Eastwood goes down low, a quick shot and scores. Micah Thiessen. Make that 6 different goal scorers for the Rebels as they go up 6-0 with 6:06 to go. And I can report now that heading down the tunnel earlier, just a few seconds ago, was Kalix Simonson. He is back on the bench, however. Might have just gotten shaken up on one of the previous plays. Good to see him back on the bench so quick. Now off the draw, Rebels. Pass to Despins. Despins walks in, bouncing shot on Couturier. He makes a stop. And now going up to Noah. Noah with it being covered by Johnson. He's going to just pass back. And right now, I can report that it is 4-3 Crude with 6 minutes to go in the first. So they've got about the same time left on their clock, and Crude coming back after the Warriors went up early 1-0. Rebels just looking to pick it up in the close side corner. They do. Now the Rebels back right to left. As Renault took a bit of a shot across the hands by Jesse Porter, and there was no penalty coming up on that play. I believe he felt there may have been a little bit of a slash there. Nonetheless, we play on 5-on-5. Jameson walking in and going down hard was Kai Ellis. And now there's going to be a penalty coming up on the play. It might be to Ben Renault here, as extra man now on for the Outlaws. So Outlaws 6-on-5 on the delayed penalty call. Outlaws passing around the outside. Wines fires one just a bit wide. Ball now loose. Was Hobday. Hobday regains it. Pass right into the front. Went off of a Rebel stick. It maintains possession, though, as the Outlaws. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Hildebrand takes a hard shot. And finally, the Rebels are going to finally touch that one up with 4:25 to go. As they're going to call for a floor wipe here as well. We'll see what the official call goes to Ben Renault. But he is going to sit for 2. Be a 2-minute unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. So with 4:25 to go in the first, 6-0 Rebels lead inside the Ken Nickel. And getting it started on the Outlaws' first power play of this one is Marcus Hildebrand. As the Outlaws just realizing they didn't have enough players on the floor, so quickly coming on was Kyle Jamieson. As the Outlaws passing around the outside, just looking to find an open lane and maybe get somebody out of their blocking lane as they finally get a shot off that goes on net. Outlaws maintaining possession. Hildebrand calling a shot right now as everybody's looking to make that play happen. Back and forth a few times. A nice defensive effort by Reese Walsh to just knock that out of the hands of Gage Brooks. Now Rebels looking to go down low with it. Was Walsh. The Outlaws regain at 1:10 left of power play time. Outlaws slow it down just inside the half. Ben Hobday checks, make sure everybody's on. Hobday quarterbacking, look to fake a shot. He's going to wind up again. He's going to get around a couple guys, and he's going to take a couple slashes. And that's going to be knocked out by Bajema. Now Bajema grabs it, and he moves back across. Bajema being covered on the close side boards by Porter. Coming in for some assistance is Booth. And now the Outlaws back the other way, and there's some extra shots being thrown there by Bajema. Referee just watching that and not calling it. Brooks with it at the white line. Pass across. Once again, the Outlaws go round and round. The carousel never stops turning. Hobday winds and rips one. Goes off the shoulder of Carpenter. Lands in a Rebel stick. Is now back across the half with it on the far side is Tej Brown. Brown, he looks up at the clock. 2:20 to play in the first. Brown looking to cut in. He's going to go up for Jolivet. Jolivet trying to pass down low, and that could be dangerous for Rylan Walsh as Jolivet tries to throw one on net, and he's going to step just inside the crease. Outlaws ball. 2 minutes to go here in the first. As Rossman has it. Rossman knocked out of his stick by Longmire. So Rebels pick it up in their own far side corner and trying to just shoot it really fast up to Matthew Vetch. It misses him completely. Ends up in the stick of Couturier, and now the Outlaws are going to move back. Brooks. Off to Hildebrand. Hildebrand gets some help. Is trying to go back over to Brooks. Was Ellis. Ball loose in the close side boards. Still loose. 1:15 to go here in the first. Brought out now by the Outlaws, Hobday, and the shot clock is going to come to an expiry, and now the Rebels are going to try and move quickly back up as a pass intended for Manning just missed his stick. As we're in the final minute of the first. Manning holding it for the Rebels up to Simonson. Kohut. Manning. Winding up, opting to pass instead and giving some defensive assistance, and now ripping one on net was Despins right into the stick of Couturier. Ball still loose, picked back up by the Rebels with a fresh 30 to work with. About a 5-second differential between shot and game clocks here. Rebels will have to make at least another shot on net before the end of this one. Rebels on the outside. Manning has it one more time, looking to wind up and rip one. Maybe he's going to go for a hard pass instead to Kohut. Kohut gets one on net and scores! Jackson Kohut with 14.2 seconds left in the period makes it 7-0 Rebels and the 7th unique goal scorer for the Rebels. Want to talk about spreading the offense. The Rebels have been able to do just that. as the Crude and Warriors come into their final 2 minutes of the first. Crude leading 6-5. As we play the final 14-2 here in Ken Nickel. Vetch with it now, looking to maybe get one more as he winds and fires one on Couturier. That's going to go into the close side corners. 3 seconds left. Ball loose. Nobody's really going to have anything going. 0.4 to go, and that's going to do it for the first period from here inside Ken Nickel. After the first 20, 7-0 Rebels lead over the Outlaws. Well, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the second here on CROW LAX TV. Well, welcome back inside Ken Nickel Regional Recreation Center as we get set for second period action between the Beaumont Outlaws and the visiting Fort Saskatchewan Rebels. 7-0 is where we sit after the first 20, after an offensive onslaught by the Rebels in the first, with seven different goal scorers for all 7 goals. Jolivet, Baker, Badgema, Manning, Thiessen, Eastwood, and Kohut, your 7 goal scorers in the first. As the Outlaws came out on the floor pretty early here for the second. Rebels just making their way over to the bench now. And through the first 20 minutes out in St. Albert, 6-4 CROW lead the Warriors in a game where Elliott already has 4 goals. An impressive outing for Elliott in that one. Carpenter and Couturier back between their respective pipes as we flip ends with Rebels on the long defensive change. Well, I guess technically both clubs on the long defensive change for the second. They're just looking to set up the clock here before we get underway. They don't quite have that up on the board yet as we sit. And we are back underway now inside the Ken Nickel as Badgema is going to have his first possession here. He's just going to scoop that one over onto the close side boards. And a bit of a shot pass by Puck. As now Jolivet has it. Jolivet gets some help from Manning. Jolivet gets it scooped out of his stick on a nice defensive effort by Booth. And now ball currently sitting loose, picked up by the Outlaws, and now they're going to try and move back quickly the other way. They do end up beating the 8 seconds, obviously, but not before the Rebels knock it back into Outlaw territory. Scooping it up, Jesse Porter. He's going to stop up, and he's going to try and back down Reese Walsh coming in hot behind him. Now ripped on net by Rossman. And that one, I believe they're going to say, went into the roof, so they are going to award this to the Outlaws. As Reese Walsh just was hovering over that ball, waiting for the Outlaws to get going here. Is Rossman with it now. Rossman trying to get it down low, and a low, hard shot by Kyle Jamieson ends up going a little bit wide. Now ball is going to bounce all the way down the floor right to Couturier. Badgema picks it up, trying to back in, maybe get around 1, 2, 3. He gets around 4 defenders. That's an impressive job by him. Goes for a change off. He's now with it is Kohut. Kohut on the close side corner. Goes up to Simonson. Now cross pass and hard shot and scores. Nolan Eastwood, the first multi-goal scorer of this one, makes it 8-0 Fort Saskatchewan. Eastwood ripping one on net after gaining that pass quickly. It pays its dividends. As Couturier almost didn't move before the ball was already past him. The Rebels were one man short on the floor. So Baker had to run in there really quick. Off the draw, Outlaws with it. Vetch loses his stick, and nice job tag teaming it with Despins to get that ball loose, thrown in. Is still a stick on the floor. It's thrown over towards the bench. As now we're starting to get a little bit into the heavy hitting portion of this one. As Rebels all over the Outlaws at the moment. McKenna just tries to throw that one down low, and ball currently just bouncing loose in front of Carpenter. He picks that one up. And now with it is Kohut. Kohut, centering pass, 1-2 opportunities for Dylan Puck. Forehand and then backhand. Neither hits the twine. Simonson with it now at the white line. Moves in, a little bit, trying to get around a couple defenders. He can't. He opts to pass it instead. Now moving down low and looking back door was puck. And it doesn't get much more wide open than that, and unfortunately he just misses his mark. Kohut now with it, scoops it in, and Couturier stands his ground. Rebels get a fresh 30 to work with as they maintain possession. Simonson with it. Referee picks up a couple of sticks off the floor, gets them out of harm's way. As the Rebels hold it at the top. Moving in, low shot, bounces off Couturier and just a little bit over the net, and that could have been potentially the 9th for the Rebels. Kohut maintains possession for the Rebels. Pass across, looking to cut in is Eastwood. Eastwood flips it back to Manning. Manning's going to take a shot. Couturier comes up with a stop. Ball currently loose. As it almost looked like Couturier accidentally threw his teammate of Dugan to the ground unintentionally, and now Rossman has it. Rossman trying to go quickly to Hildebrand, misses his stick, and now Hobday fighting for it in the far side corner. Ball currently sitting loose, just rolling. Scooped up by the Rebels. They're going to say that went off the boards, and Outlaws with it. Hobday quickly moves in, fires one off of Carpenter. That's up into the roof. Rebels ball. Rebels quickly with it up the side, and Couturier comes up with the stop as he's just going to send that one through center. Kai Ellis fighting against Reese Walsh for the loose ball. Looks like Walsh is going to walk away with this one, as it did actually just get knocked loose as I said that. As now it's moved up, and with it is Rylan Walsh. Walsh holding. He's trying to get around his man. He's going to pass off. As now Baker winds up, fires one on, and Couturier comes up with the stop. Player goes down in front. Ball currently sits loose as Rebels just trying to pick that one up. As Vetch walks in, gives some assistance to Simonson. Simonson tries to go across to Manning. It looked like it may have hit the tip of his stick, hence why ball ended up going loose to Couturier, and now trying to go back the other way again is Cody Porter as he misses it, and Eastwood is able to take a shot, and Couturier comes up with a stop, and that was a perfectly placed pass actually by Couturier, as I thought that was going into the netting, but it hits the penalty box doors right to a teammate. Now Hobday to Grace. Grace is behind the back pass, picked off, and now Matthew Vetch, he's going to walk in all alone, one-on-one against Couturier, and puts it just a bit wide. Second chance now maybe for Jack Nickel, as Nickel has it against Regan Walker. To Kohut. Goes down low to Puck. Back to Simonson. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Simonson does end up ripping one on net, and Couturier comes up with it in his glove. The Outlaws with it, taking a slash, was Colby Hain. Hain slows it down. Off to Jesse Porter. Porter being covered by Longmire. Couple passes later, now we're back with Hildebrand and back to Porter, who takes a shot wide. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Outlaws just have to get one on net. 1 second left. And it did look like it actually got out of the stick of Dugan just in time, but it was wide, so it wasn't going to matter anyway. It's now the Rebels into the Outlaws zone. 20 seconds left on the shot clock, as there's going to be a penalty coming up on the play here. And it looks like it may be Cohen Sutherland again. And never mind. My apologies. That's going to be a Rebels penalty to Rylan Walsh. He's going to sit for 2 for cross-checking here. So with 13:27, referees over, giving a bit of an explanation to head coach Dean Casey of the Outlaws. New head coach this year for the Outlaws. Want some clarification, as he seems very disgruntled about why this is only a 2-minute call. As this discussion is still going on between them. As Dean Casey doesn't like the explanation he gets, throws his hands up in anger and laughs.
The Rebels penalty, 10 over 16, Ryan Walsh, 2 minutes for cross-checking.
As Hildebrand
27.
gets it started on the Outlaws power play. Outlaws still looking for their first in this one. Outlaws passing around. Hildebrand holds it now. Gets a bit of help from Rossman, but not enough to get a shot off. And finally a shot gets thrown on net by Brooks that hits a body in front. Outlaws maintain possession, 2 seconds on the shot clock, and they finally get one on Carpenter. It just rolls off his shoulder down his stick. And now the Rebels look to go to work short-handed. Vetch with it on the far side. He gets hit in the back, and he throws one on net. Just wide of Couturier, so that is going to be Outlaws' ball. As now the Outlaws move in all alone, and Carpenter comes up with a stop on a beautiful opportunity by Noah. As now the Rebels are deep in Outlaws territory, short-handed too. Now with it is Ellis. Ellis just slowly walking, dishes it off to Grace. Grace and Hobday back and forth as the Rebels bench yelling who has the ball. Not sure if my mic is picking that up very well, but the Rebels bench very loud and helping out their teammates on the floor. Outlaws still with it. Hildebrand winds and fires one. Bouncing shot off the floor. As we are back 5-on-5, by the way, in about 25 seconds. And it looks like the Rebels are actually about to take another penalty here. I think it's going to be too many players on the floor. It's going to be a too many men call, going to be served by Baker here. So the Rebels found guilty of a too many men call. And, well, my 25 seconds until 5-on-5 gets negated back to 2 minutes. So we're 5-on-3 for a short little period here. As Carter Grace is just going to get rubbed out along the boards, and he's going to get knocked down. They're going to somehow actually award that to the Outlaws, as I believe Tej Brown feels it was the opposite way that he got knocked into Grace. As Grace is going to fire and score. Carter Grace, 2 seconds left in the first penalty, means it's still another minute and 39 of power play time to go for the Outlaws, and that could not be more convenient timing for Carter Grace to draw first blood for the Outlaws against the Rebels. As 8-1 is now our current score, and the Outlaws end their nearly 28, or just over 28 minutes scoreless drought here in the first. As in St. Albert, the Warriors pull back within one. As they're just having some issues trying to clear the penalty here inside the arena. And we're back underway. We're still 5-on-4 for another minute and a half. And in the arena, they're actually awarding that goal to Ben Hobday, where I thought it was Grace that got the goal, but they are going to award it to Hobday instead. Grace getting an assist on that. Nonetheless, he does get a point. However, I do think that was the incorrect call here in the arena. Hobday with it now, with one in this game now, is ripping it on net was Hildebrand. And that's going to go off of Carpenter, I think. as a referee slips and falls in Outlaws territory. He may have just hit a bit of a slick spot here. This arena, very interesting for how the floor works in this one. This is actually the one arena you probably see the most slips, falls, and general dampness of the floor compared to the other ones. As in this arena, you're actually down on a sub-level, as walking in was Owen McKenna, and there's going to be a too many players on the floor call to, I believe this time it's going to be the Outlaws. And that's what it's going to be. So the Outlaws are going to take a 2-minute penalty here, as the Rebels are actually going to make a goaltender change as well, as Carson Martell coming in place of Bowen Carpenter here with about half the game to go. So it's going to be a 30 seconds of 4-on-4 action before a short Outlaws penalty kill for, well, I guess not so short, a minute 30. So Rebels with possession looking to go to work on the 4-on-4. And this arena definitely has been known in recent years, as I said, to be one of the more slick floors. As in the Ken Nickel, we're technically on a sub-level of this building. When you come into this building, as a shot on net from Kohut, you actually have to walk all the way to the back of the building and down some stairs to get into the arena if you haven't been in Ken Nickel before, as we're now on a Rebels power play, 5-on-4. So I think this sub-level may contribute a little bit to a more slick floor here, as we saw last season especially, as the Rebels just trying to get something off. And there's going to be a high hit here, and lots of whistles blowing as the Rebels are taking a penalty. And I actually don't know if the Outlaws are going to take a penalty, as Simonson was down. It's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty to Jackson Baker here. And there's going to be another penalty, a couple more penalties, I think, being called here. Referees having a bit of a discussion here, so we'll see what the official calls are. So far we know that there's 2 minutes to Baker. It looks like it may be coincidental twos here, as Sutherland and Simonson are giving each other a bit of lip inside the box. So the referees actually didn't signal what the penalties were for. We'll see if they give us the official call here in the arena. But we are going to play, we're actually going to play 3-on-3. Referees are trying to sort this right now. This is not something you see every day. There's a referee trying to talk to the Outlaws coaching staff, trying to figure this out. It sounded like the referee said it's a 4-on-3 in favor of the Outlaws here. And I don't know how this works, as now Cohen Sutherland is actually out of the box. So they only have one penalty up on the board, though. So as you can see on your screen at the moment, even us in the arena here don't know what's happening, as referees are trying to signal to each other like, hey, we don't have a penalty up on the board. So it looks like it's going to be Baker and Simonson sitting here for the Rebels. So as they get this sorted out in the arena here, just want to remind you that Battle of the Border is back in Missoula, Montana this September, as they finally get the penalties on the board. Battle of the Border Lax on Instagram. tour the University of Montana campus, learn about the CROW LAX program, and participate in the annual North versus South lacrosse tournament, as well as checking out some of the full ride scholarships available for Canadians specifically at the University of Montana. That coming up in Missoula this September. As now there is another outlaw. Sutherland is actually heading back to the box here. Referees really struggling to get their point across to the boxes here. So I don't know if Sutherland took 10 or what exactly is going on here. As now there's a 2-minute penalty up for the Outlaws as well. So this is a rare commodity here that you're going to see is a 3-on-3 lacrosse game. Not very often that you see this. Winding and firing one from the outside is Ben Hobday, and there's just so much extra floor to work with when you're on a 3-on-3 game for at least another 47 seconds here. Is there so much more floor to work with, and you got a lot more time because guys have so much more floor to cover. As Manning is just going to hold that on the far side boards. Now over to Kohut. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. 30 seconds left in that first penalty to the Outlaws. There was a shot just in time. The shot clock wasn't reset in time, but it is still Rebels possession. So Baker takes 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. Simonson's going to take 2 for roughing. And Cohen Sutherland also takes 2 minutes for roughing. So those are the official calls here in the arena for those 3 penalties. As now it is going to be an Outlaws power play for the next 45 seconds. Passing it around the outside and trying to go back door was Hildebrand, and Martel was just in the right place, but it didn't end up getting on target. As now the Rebels move it in shorthanded. Davin Bajma takes a shot. Goes off Couturier, lands in the stick of Puck. Puck sends it across. 23 seconds left of power play time, or of shot clock time. And only 8 seconds left until 3 guys are going to come out of the box simultaneously here. And now we're back 5-on-5. And there was a delayed penalty coming up here. As shot clock comes to an expiry, there's going to be a holding call coming up. I believe this one is going to go Outlaws. It's going to be a 2-minute holding call to the Outlaws here with 7:16 to go in this game. Or, sorry, not in this game, in the second. Getting ahead of myself here. As now we're back underway. Simonson restarting this one for the Rebels. So the Rebels power play go back to work.
2 minutes for holding. 7:16.
So Cutler takes 2 minutes for holding here. Sorry, Keller, my apologies. Simonson is going to rip one from the outside, hits a body in front. Actually, never mind, that did hit Couturier as they gave a fresh 30 seconds. My apologies, I've been calling him Keller Noah this entire game. On the official documents with the RMLL on their website, they do list him as Keller Noah, but it is actually Noah Keller. As Cody Porter has it on the far side board. Still another just over a minute of penalty kill time remaining. 13 seconds left on the shot clock. Outlaws, we'll see if they throw one on net or if they just try and keep it deep down low. They do throw one on net, and that's actually going to hit Johnson and just kind of go into, well, all the way down the floor. Couturier was trying to scoop it up, and now Baker was trying to get a quick whistle and tuck that one in before Couturier got back. He's going to have no such luck. As Kohut gets it to Baker. Baker fakes a pass across. Now up to Simonson. Back to Kohut. Kohut back to Manning. To Baker. Baker's going to fake one and then take a real ripper over the shoulder of, I believe that was Hudson Cook. So now back to Baker. Baker, another 1-2 fake. As now Cook picks that one up, and he's going to run it across center with 5.5 to go here in the second. And a score update from in St. Albert. It's about 6.5 to go in that game. 6-5, CROW still lead on the Warriors. Not too many goals. Very quiet second up there at Jerome McGinley. As now 8 seconds on the shot clock, and Porter's got to make something happen. He gets it to Grace instead, and Grace is going to rip one on net. A nice job by Grace to at least get a fresh 30. However, Bajema has it for the Rebels. He's going to run in, and looking backdoor was Kohut. And a nice job by Couturier to keep that one out of the net. As Kohut holds it. And he goes for a pass across. I don't know if he intended that one to go to Jolivet or not. However, ball loose and picked up Jesse Porter. Jesse Porter, he's got Eastwood right behind him. Porter puts it home! Jesse Porter makes it 8-2. A nice job by Porter to capitalize on a rare Rebel mistake. You don't see the Rebels giving away opportunities like that very often. However, in this case, it worked out for the Outlaws as Eastwood had to retie his shoe here. With 4:38 to play in the second. Referee getting the ball in place. Getting the sticks placed, and we are now back underway as Rebels are going to win that face-off, and Thiessen with it now. Ball pops up. Back to Thiessen. Thiessen goes down low for Baker, wide open, and Baker makes them pay. He's got his second of the game. 9-2 Rebels. Jackson Baker left all alone down low, and, well, I'll tell you one thing. One guy you don't want to leave all alone with plenty of time to work with is Jackson Baker, because he'll make you pay. And that's exactly what he did. So the Rebels back up by 7. This ball loose off the draw in the close side corner. And now Bajema holds it through center. And slow down, and there's going to be another too many men call here. And it's going to be the Rebels taking another too many men call. Referee actually having a discussion with the Rebels coaching staff. So the Rebels guilty of another, and maybe they're getting a little too, I don't know what you want to call it. If you want to call it a little too eager. But so far, the Rebels have been lucky that the Outlaws haven't made them pay on a, what I would call and consider a sloppy penalty. Outlaws once again passing around the outside, just looking to get somebody off kilter and find a lane. As Hildebrand drops it, it goes over and back. And now it's going to be Rebels' ball as Johnson picks it up. Johnson covered on the far side by Cody Porter. Ball loose, and now maybe Cody trying to get something similar to his brother here. He doesn't, as he wasn't able to scoop it up fast enough. As it now pops over to Ellis. And now Hildebrand. Outlaws going to go back to work on setting this one up. as we play a bit of a game of hot potato. And now Hildebrand called his shot. And now ripping one from the outside was Rossman. And Martel with an easy stop. As Martel sends that one pretty far up the floor to Reese Walsh. Walsh has an open lane and was cut off by Osman. Now ball rolls all the way back down to Thiessen, who sits around where the blue line would be if there was ice in this building. 6 seconds on the shot clock. He fired one on net. And let me tell you, it doesn't get much closer than that as he put it off the far side post from where he was. A game of inches at that point. 30 seconds left on the power play. And now Vetch is going to have a breakaway opportunity of his own and stopped by Couturier. Hobday with 13 seconds of power play time. The Outlaws have time to get one last chance on the power play. We'll see if they do. Hildebrand passes off to Hobday. Hobday's going to rip one on net, and it kind of bounces a little bit wide as Despins is going to come out of the box on the too-many-men call as we're in the final 2 minutes of the middle frame. Running it up is Brown. Was knocked out of his stick. And they're going to call it dead on the 8-second violation, where Jesse Porter immediately picks it up to get it restarted for the Outlaws. Minute 35 to go here in the second. Ellis tries to use a teammate to his advantage who was fresh onto the floor. He doesn't quite pull off what he intended to. Holding it now is Hobday. Over to Grace, and Grace fires one just a bit wide, ends up almost back in his stick, a bit wide, and spin move from Bajma, and now Bajma is going to be all alone one more time, and he's going to put that one wide. Picked out of midair by Hudson Cook. Ball pops high up into the roof. So that's Rebels ball as we're in the final 60 of the second period. As Baker slips. Picked up by Puck, and Puck backdoor opportunity for the Rebels off the top of the crossbar. And now it's going to be a 2-on-1 opportunity for the Outlaws here. Sutherland and Keller. And Keller put it on net, and a nice stop by Martel. 34 seconds to go in this one. There's going to be a 6-second shot and game clock separation as we close in on the dying seconds here. Rebels have to get at least one off. Baker, he does, but it's wide. It's going to be over and back with 14.1 to go. And the Outlaws bench is going to call a timeout here with 13.3 to go. The Outlaws are going to look to maybe gain one more back before the end of the middle 20. Coaching staff just going over plays with the Outlaws, how they want to do this. For all intents and purposes, I am going to assume Couturier is going to be pulled for the last 13-3. As the timeout clock expires, Outlaws just going to milk every second of it until the referees tell them to break it up. They're milking everything they can. Still now like 45 seconds. No referee has signaled for them to finish up. And now they finally do. So it's going to be an empty net for the Outlaws here. With 13.3 to go, they're going to play 6-on-5. I don't know if the Outlaws know that they are playing 6-on-5. As now they finally do send a sixth man onto the floor with 4 seconds to go. Winds and fires one is Hobday. Second chance maybe, and can't pick it up as now player goes down, and now maybe some words. Referees, though, getting right in the way to break up any potential anything from happening. Carter Grace is throwing a few words over. As Grace and Martel exchanging some words. Referees, though, make sure nothing more comes of that. So through 40 minutes from here inside the Ken Nickel, 9-2 Rebels lead over the Outlaws. Well, thank you for tuning in to CROW LAX TV. My name is Keenan. We'll be back with the third shortly here on CROW. Well, welcome back inside the Ken Nickel Regional Recreation Center as we get set for third period action between the Beaumont Outlaws and the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels. 9-2 is where we sit through 40 minutes with only 20 left in this one. Thank you for tuning in to CROW LAX TV. Specifically, this game tonight is simultaneously as the Warriors and the CROW. Mohammed with the call for you over on that one, so be sure quickly tune into that one whenever you can, as 8-5 CROW lead after 2. Well, be sure like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell. You'll be notified every single time we go live all season long, all the way through the Larry Bishop Memorial Cup, as we have the pleasure of broadcasting that this season live from Fort Saskatchewan, as the Rebels are automatically in as the host team. Off the opening draw of the third, Rebels with possession as Vetch being covered by Porter and gets puck, backs in for some assistance. Now pass over to Eastwood. Eastwood looking for puck down low. Should be cut off by McKenna. And now McKenna is going to move back left to right as the offense has the long change in the third for both these clubs. Pass down low for Hildebrand. Hildebrand trying to back in, and a behind the back shot went a bit wide. Hobday picks that one back up. Still another 20 seconds left on the shot clock. Still plenty of valuable time. As Outlaws rip one from the outside, stopped up by Martel, as he's going to dish over to Reese Walsh. Intended for Nickel, missed his stick. Outlaws are going to come away with this. As Cook has it now in the far side corner, runs it into the close side corner. Lob pass to Hobday. As Hobday scoops, gives it off, and now Brooks looking to cut in. Martel is there to meet it, and now he sends it up through the middle as Johnson slows it down and waits for everybody to change off. Baker with a one-touch pass over to Simonson. Simonson intended Jolivet, but Sutherland picks that one off, and now Sutherland is going to rip through the middle, covered by Eastwood. Still gets a shot on net, and that just goes wide of the net. Vetch crosses the red line. He has Eastwood with him, and he's just going to pass it right over to him. Eastwood into the close side for Jolivet. 6 seconds on the shot clock. They got to make something happen, but as Kohut was looking back door, wasn't able to get one on net. So shot clock is going to come to an expiry. It's going to be awarded Outlaws ball as Osman passes over to Booth. And a little weird, interesting, I don't know if you want to call that somersault or what, as Badjima got tripped up a little bit there. And now there's going to be a penalty coming up on the play as one of the Rebels lost their stick and their glove. That's going to be, I believe, a slash here, maybe a hold. It's actually going to be a Rebels penalty here. 2 minutes holding to Ryland Walsh of the Rebels. So the Outlaws power play gets to go back to work. I thought it was the opposite way here, but I guess he was holding on so hard that that's how his glove fell off. It's Hobday quarterbacking this power play. Looking for a lane. Gets one over, and a hard shot from Hildebrand. And that goes off the body of Ben Renault. And man, that must have stung. A second chance opportunity streaking in was Kyle Jamieson. It's now the Rebels. Jack Nickel. Bounce pass over to Puck. to Vetch. Vetch with it. He's got Simonson right behind him if he notices. However, they see that the shot clock's about to come to an expiry, so Vetch is going to run it as deep as he can. And smart heads-up read by the Rebels to ensure all the defenders are on the floor in time for that shot clock to expire. It's Hildebrand. Brings it cross into Rebels territory at the white. Hobday. Still another 40 seconds of power play time to go. Hildebrand behind the back pass. Intended for Rossman, and now a hard shot by Dugan. Misses its intended target. A low shot by Hobday also missed the intended target, and ball goes all the way deep into Outlaws territory, where it's picked up by Reese Walsh. Walsh lob pass up to Eastwood. Eastwood with 2 in this one. Eastwood covered by a couple of Outlaws as Rebels still shorthanded for another 10 seconds. And about 3 seconds separate the penalty and shot clocks as the Rebels do get a shot off just in time for Ryland Walsh to come out of the box. We're back 5-on-5, and Outlaws just trying to maintain possession. Nice job by Porter to keep that one going. Rossman passes off. Now to Hildebrand. Hildebrand, it bounces in and out of his stick. It's Hildebrand just getting the business from Ben Renault. Is now hard hit by Ryland Walsh. Hildebrand drops it for Jack Nickel. So Nickel gets it started back for the Rebels as he's going to dish it to Puck. Puck waits for Baker and gives it over to Jolivet. Jolivet winds and fires one wide. Ball bounces pretty far back, kept in by the Rebels. Jolivet. He gets it down low, and Manning puts that one in, and they're going to say he was outside of the crease. Tyler Manning gets his second, while Couturier pleads his case for why that should be called off due to a crease violation. So 10-2 Rebels. Referee blew his whistle a few times there. I don't know if there was some funky business going down that he didn't like, but nonetheless, Porter gets stopped up. Badgema has it and holds it still. Off to Simonson. Down low, far side was Puck. Went off a body of somebody. It's scooped right back up by Puck as he gets it to Eastwood. Eastwood looking to fire something. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Gets it down to Manning. Manning looking for another as he's looking now for his third as well. Eastwood. Manning. And look for Puck on a down low pass. Nice outlook pass there. It seems like there might be an outlaw without a stick. I believe it's Gavin Osman, who is currently missing his stick as Rebels take a shot. I don't know if Osman's stick is just sitting there. Actually, referee did have it. He picked it up out of, I believe it was the close side corner. And now potential opportunity is slipping a shot is Cody Porter. Porter gets hit high. That's going to be a penalty coming up to Eastwood. As now touching it up, it's going to be the Rebels. They're going to call him an elbowing penalty on Eastwood. So it's going to be a 5-minute major to Eastwood for elbowing. As Eastwood pleading his case, Darren Beret pleading the case of the Rebels. Referee not having any of it, so this could be the break that the Outlaws need to try and claw their way back from an 8-goal deficit. And with a 5-minute major, there's no better time to do it than now, as Hobday gets it started for the Outlaws. Outlaws passing around the outside as they announce the elbowing call here live in the arena. Trying to go over to Porter and bounced just out of his stick to Martel. Martel just yeets that one all the way down the floor. And Jolivet is going to pick that one up for Johnson. He was looking for Johnson right in front, who is wide open short-handed. So he's getting like hounded here in the close side corner. Johnson, though, doing a nice job of holding that ball for such a long time through all of the traffic and the sticks, as already a minute has gone by in this 5-minute major. Hildebrand with it. Waits for Dugan to come onto the floor before making any rash decisions. Winding, firing one from pretty far out was Brooks, and Martel with an easy stop. As Martel going to send that one down all the way, picked out of midair by Hildebrand. Hildebrand, Rossman comes on, passes over to Brooks. Hildebrand, Brooks. Hildebrand. Behind the back pass to Dugan. Takes a shot, gets that fresh 30, and ended up in the knee of Carson Martel. Thiessen trying to move it up quickly as he was at about 5 seconds on the 8-second counter. 11 minutes to go here in this game as Kai Ellis just all over. Now Hildebrand joining the fray against Reese Walsh. Walsh just trying to back in, maybe get a shot off. He's just going to throw this one into as deep as he can. Hobday holds it, waits for everybody to come on the floor. Porter, Hobday, Porter, Hobday, Porter, Hobday. Far side, can't catch a number, and taking a shot there is Jamison, which is that number that I could not catch. As now Bajema has it. Bajema walks in and looked to try and just float it over to Johnson. Misses. Johnson sick completely. As now there's only 2 minutes left in this 5-minute elbowing major and 10 minutes left in this game. The Outlaws have been very, I don't know if it's unfortunate on this power play or if it's just the Rebels' stellar defense, as they're going to try and get another fast break here as Knox Despins cuts over onto the close side boards. Minute 36 still of power play time, and ball ends up out of play. There's going to be a cross-check. Cross-checking call to Ben Hobday of the Outlaws. And with a minute 34 left in that 5-minute major, that is going to negate the rest of it. And an additional 26-second power play for the Rebels coming out of it. And the Outlaws just with an unfortunate timing and break there. Is now the Rebels manning with it. He's got help from Jolivet. Behind the back pass intended for Jolivet was picked out by Cody Porter as there was a bit of a hook there. No referee is going to call that one. We play on Dugan. He's got Jamison right with him as well as Brooks now. Passes over to Brooks, now down low to Porter. Porter looking for a lane. Finds one and throws one on net, and it actually goes a bit wide of the net. Picked up by Simonson streaking in. Simonson gets around his man, takes a shot, and that's going to go off of the corner. That a 6 count. Dugan brings it across. Outlaws trying to get something going as Hildebrand can't get around Vetch. So opts to pass down low. Calling a shot there was Jamison. 5 seconds left. Jamison takes a shot. Goes off the goaltender. And now Matthew Vetch couldn't quite keep possession of it as he could have had a breakaway opportunity. Rossman yelling at the referee, where's the penalty, as the stick was actually broken in his hands. And referee says, no, there's no penalty there. So the Outlaws have 20 seconds left on a penalty here, 5-on-4. Well, it should be 5-on-4 right now in favor of the Rebels, but they actually looked like they only had 4 out there for a moment. Picking it up far side, Ben Renault to puck. 7.5 to play as we go back 5-on-5. Jolivet was looking maybe for a rebound opportunity as the Rebels need to get a shot off on net, and Manning puts it wide, and shot clock is going to come to an expiry with 7:12 to go here in the game. Ball is just rolling right now down behind the Rebels' net. It's Outlaws' ball finally picked up to get it restarted by Porter. Brooks with it now. Up to Dugan. Dugan gets around his man. Gets driven to the floor by Jamison. Back to Hildebrand. Hildebrand being covered by Nickel. Winds and fires one just wide. Second chance opportunity, and a nice job keeping a defensive stick down on it was Reese Walsh. 6.5 to go. 10-2 is still where we sit. It's Kohut trying to push in down low, gets it over to Manning. Manning cuts back, trying to fire one. Went to pass it instead to Brown. And now the Outlaws regain. Knocked out of the stick of Ellis. Doesn't matter, it dropped right into his feet. Rebels being very wary, very cautious not to get another too many men call, as they've already had a couple times in this one, as Porter throws one on net and actually gets it right on the goaltender. Fresh 30 for the Outlaws. Ball bouncing into the close side corner. Driven hard into the boards. Was Hobday, so Outlaws going to be freely awarded that ball. Porter. Rossman has it, gets it over to Porter, and now down to Hobday. Hobday comes up to the top. Pass over. The shot by Rossman hits somebody in front, and now Thiessen has it. Thiessen streaking in. Porter covering off the floor, off the crossbar, right into the stick of Jolivet, and Jolivet gets knocked off kilter by Porter. Rebels, though, maintaining possession as Thiessen comes streaking in. 5 minutes to play in the third. Rebels dominating yet another contest here, this time against the Outlaws, as the Outlaws pick that one off. And Keller bounces it, well, tries to bounce it over, barely keeping it in against Simonson. Hildebrand finds an open lane, diving shot, stopped up by Martel. It's Rebels. Simonson with it. Makes a fake pass to Manning and then a real pass to Kohut, who fake passes to Manning again. Didn't fake out anybody, though, as ripped from pretty far out. And now there's going to be a floor wipe requested. So while we get this wipe down, I just want to thank you once again for tuning in to CROW LAX TV. My name is Keenan. one of the many play-by-play voices that you hear here on the channel. We thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and be sure to hit that notification bell. You'll be notified every time we go live all season long. Throughout Junior B Tier 1, Junior B Tier 2, Alberta Major Female, and coming up soon, I believe it's next week starting, are the Senior B games here on CROW. So we cover the Outlaws and the Rebels this season once more. As Crude and Warriors still currently live as well on the channel right now. And as of about 6 minutes ago, Crude up 9-7 with about 11 minutes left in that game. We're probably getting a little bit lower, looking to try and maybe get a live score update for you. As it is 9-7 right now with 7 minutes to go in that game. Outlaws have it. Trying to get a low shot early was Jamison. It was knocked out of his stick and scooped up by Rylan Walsh. As Walsh brings it in, right for Vetch in center. Vetch, it bounces out of his stick one more time. This Couturier just trying to keep, I believe those Knox Despins away from the net completely. As Hildebrand currently holds it off to Hobday. Now down low is Brooks. Brooks was looking for Porter inside, and Brooks picks up his own ball and shoots it right into, well, basically right into the stick of Carson Martell. As now Hildebrand all alone against, well, now 2 on 4. It was basically just Hildebrand against 4 Rebels defenders. Porter with it. That's Cody. Passes off, and a low, hard shot by Dugan goes wide. Picked up by the Rebels as Tej Brown has a break opportunity. And stopped up by Couturier as we're in the final 3. Dishing off to Jamison. Back to Brooks. Porter with it. His brother giving him some help. And Jamison couldn't quite get it into his stick as he looked for a quick one-time opportunity. Nickel on the far side board, slows it down, off to Puck. Passes off. Waiting, passing to Manning. Manning, 6 seconds on the shot clock, fires one onto Couturier, and he's just gonna blocker that aside. Down low with it is Jolivet. Jolivet gets knocked out of his lane by Ellis as we're in the final minute 45 of this one. Simonson with it for the Rebels. 90 seconds left in this contest. Rebels know they don't have to do anything too fancy or too cute, and they're going to still walk away with the victory. This Puck winds and fires one from out far, and that ends up into the roof. That's going to be awarded Rebels ball. As Crude lead the Warriors 11-7 with about 5 to play there. And Rebels lead 10-2 as we close in on the final 60, and now maybe a partial opportunity for Josh Booth, as Booth is just getting a couple of swipes at him, and Martell ends up coming away with the stop. Simonson just slowly walks over the red line, knowing that he just wants to try and secure this win for the Rebels as he goes back and forth with Manning a few times. Manning bobbles it, and Ellis trying to pick that one up. He does. Ellis bringing it in. Vetch is there. Simonson's there. Walsh is there. Rolled over to Hildebrand. 25 seconds to go. 8-second shot in game clock separation. Now winds and fires one. Was Rossman. It did make it through Martel, but wide nonetheless. As the Rebels run it in is Davin Badgema. It was 7 seconds to go. Badgema in the close side corner. He is just going to hold it for the remainder of this one. And as the final buzzer sounds, that is going to do it from this one in Beaumont as the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels walk in with a big 10-2 road victory from 7 different goal scorers. Well, we thank you for tuning in tonight to CROW LAX TV. A bit of a late contest, 9 p.m. start time, but nonetheless, we thank you for staying up late, watching, and tuning in. Have a bit of a break now for the long weekend, as our next game here on CROW is going to be on Tuesday next week. That game is going to be Warriors and Crude one more time. Live from the Jerome McGinley Arena. That game starting at 9 p.m. as well. Well, from this one here in Beaumont, my name is Keenan, signing off live on CROW LAX TV. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.